dare you do this to me? This is my boat!
Actually, the judge disagreed.
It's mine now.
The cold hit first, that sharp lake air that smells like wet rope and gasoline. Then the flashing amber lights bounced off the water like a bad disco, and I heard chains clink against metal. It was 6:00 a.m., gray sky, gulls screaming. A tow truck idled on the ramp, hot exhaust curling over the black asphalt. My blue base boat, my Saturday piece, my May 3rd, 2024 birthday gift to myself, was already hooked. I jogged down with a coffee that tasted like burnt toast, yelling, "Hey, that's mine." The driver didn't look at me. He looked at her. Karen from the HOA, red windbreaker, clipboard, sunglasses in the dawn. She said it violates Section 12, sub B. I said the ramp's public access. She sniffed like I'd tracked mud on her white carpet. The driver tightened the winch. My stomach dropped with the hull. Here's what this fight is about. Simple. Karen towed my boat from the lake at 6. Then I filed the injunction. She'd been on a streak since March. 11 complaints taped to my door, all neat, all smug. On May 3rd, 2024, I got a certified letter that said, "Remove vessel by 9:00 p.m. or face penalties." I called the number. It went to a voicemail that said, "Leave a message after the beep," then just beeped forever. That morning on the ramp, I tried reason. I said, "Karen, I have a lake use sticker." She said, "Stickers are for compliant neighbors." I asked the tow guy if he had a permit to pull watercraft from public property. He blinked like he'd swallowed a bug. Karen waved him on, said the board authorized it. I said which board, because none of them were there. I knocked on doors up and down Cedar Loop. Folks peeked through blinds like I had a siren on my head. One guy whispered, "I can't get involved." Another woman pressed her lips tight and closed the door like a vault. At the clubhouse, I sat through a board huddle where they ignored me so hard it felt like wind. When they finally spoke, it was all, "We'll look into it, and please submit concerns in writing with a $50 processing fee." I laughed. No one else did. Karen leaned back, satisfied, already texting. That was the line for me. I wasn't going to shout in cul-de-sacs or throw rocks. I was going to use the rules she loved. I promised myself, proper channels only. But I'd use every single one. I started with proof. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I filed a public records request with the city for towing permits, ramp jurisdiction maps, and complaint logs from January through May. A week later, the clerk slid a cardboard box across the counter. The file landed with 63 pages. In my garage, fans humming, I built a simple board with masking tape. Timeline item 1, April 5th at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. Next line, April 12th at 10:15 p.m., noise complaint, no citation issued. Then, May 3rd certified letter, no board vote recorded. Buried in the maps was a clean outline. The ramp and first 30 feet of shoreline were city property, not HOA. And the tow company? Their license was valid for vehicles on private lots, not vessels on public access. Plain law line, easy enough that even my Uncle Ray would nod. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. I printed the ramp map on a giant poster at the office store. I booked a spot on the city council agenda for June 10th at 7:30 p.m. And I filed for a temporary restraining order at the courthouse at 8:05 a.m. My hands shaking so hard I smudged the pen. The clerk said, "You did your homework." I said I had a good teacher named Karen. For the twist, I didn't wait for another surprise tow. I baited the hook. I posted in the neighborhood group, free safety check and lake cleanup. Saturday, 6:00 a.m., community ramp. Bring gloves. I CC'd the board, the city inspector, and sheriff's office marine unit. Morning of, we had coffee in thermoses and bags for trash. The same tow truck rolled up, chains clinking. Karen swept in with her clipboard like a parade marshal. She announced immediate towing of all non-compliant vessels. That's when the inspector stepped out, badge shining, and the deputy unfolded the court papers. The deputy read the injunction out loud, slow and firm. The inspector pointed at my giant map, taped to the tailgate. "Public access zone," he said, tapping the 30-foot hash marks. The tow driver's face went the color of cottage cheese. I clicked my little projector on, and the ramp became a movie screen. "Here's the timeline," I said, and neighbors gathered, phones up. April 5 at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. April 12th at 10:15 p.m., noise complaint with no merit. May 3, letter issued without a vote. Karen tried to talk over me, but the deputy raised a hand. Online comments started rolling in as people went live. One kid read them out loud like a sports announcer. Bro pulled the reverse. Someone typed new HOA rule. Karen needs a permit to breathe. Laughter floated over the water. Even the gulls sounded like they were laughing. Then the real flip. The inspector cited the tow company for operating outside its license, 2 counts, fines totaling $1,800. The deputy took Karen's statement and wrote up a report for misuse of HOA authority and filing at least 3 bad complaints. He explained it in plain words so everyone heard it. You can't enforce private rules on public property. At council that Tuesday, I handed over the binder and the big map. The chamber smelled like old paper and lemon cleaner. When I slid the box onto the clerk's desk, the file landed with 63 pages again, and I saw Karen flinch. The council president asked if the board had voted on towing vessels. Karen said yes. The clerk read the minutes back. No vote recorded. Silence. Cameras on. My heart pounded in my ears like drumline. After that, things moved fast like summer storms. The board held an emergency meeting on June 15th at 6:45 p.m. They voted 4-1 to remove Karen as president, suspend towing policies, and reimburse me $2,500 for damages and fees. The tow company sent me an apology letter with 3 sentences and no charm. The sheriff's office closed the false complaints with a warning. One more, and it's charges. The ramp got new signs from the city, big blue ones you can see from the street, public access, 30 feet. On Sunday, neighbors showed up with pancakes and a folding table. Mrs. Patel, who never speaks above a whisper, handed me a thank you card with her neat handwriting. A kid named Eli asked if he could hold my rod, and I said sure, but don't drop it. The water smelled clean, and the gulls were quiet for once. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.